the roof of a building collapsed in a southern Korean city during a welcoming ceremony for first-year students, officially said. Emergency staff worked through the night to pull people from the rubble and rush the injured one stretchers to waiting ambulance as snow, sleets and icy roads hampered rescue operations. The collapse happened last night as about 560 students from Busan University of Foreign Studies had gathered for a 2-day freshman orientation at the Malna Ocean Resort in the southeastern city of Gyeongju when a crack appeared in the auditorium ceiling before the collapse.
Colin, please explain what happened on the incident day.
On that night, me and my university mate were having a party at the hall of gymnasium. Suddenly we heard a loud sound from the roof, and we saw the roof cracking and start to falling down. After that, during that time, we tried to escape from the building, but since we are about 560 people, so we difficult to escape from that building. Actually, I'm one of the victims for the collapse, and I was trapped under the collapse roof. And then I collapsed for a few hours until rescue team come and found me and saved me. Yes, first I entered the building. I saw some cracking, the large and long cracking, especially at the top at near to the roof. Of course, I feel very lucky because that I am still alive. But I have phobia to enter a building, even enter a building with some crack, even a small crack. So I phobia to enter that, such the building.
I'm going to interview the police officer who take charge on this case. So this is Officer Pak Kilapak. She took the responsibility on this case investigation.
After a few minutes, the building collapsed. The building collapsed at local time around 9:15 p.m. Of course, we definitely inform our national rescue team, which comprise of our police department, fire department and military. The report is about the building collapse due to the structural failure occurred at the roof part. The auxiliary pillar fails as it requires more connection bolts, and besides that, the heavy snow loads cause the failure as well. Currently, we are checking on the material quality and standard. No, we have full authority to conduct the investigation and no bias in our case, as the case is under concerns of our Mr. President. Of course, the party involved will be charged under our law, and they will be sentenced and might be sued. Besides that, their construction license can be terminated.
So thank you, Officer Pak Kilapak. Thank you for contributing your time for our television.
The failure of the roof collapse actually is because of the main pillar doesn't have enough bolt connection. During the investigation, when we do the comparison between the structural and architecture drawing, there should be 4 bolts connection, but in actual there is only 2 bolts, and we can see from here maybe there is involved of bribery or fraud during the construction phase. Besides that, the heavy snow snowfall on that day did increase the load on the roof, which causes the structure can't resist the load from the heavy snowfall anymore and lead to the roof failure. We believe during the construction phase, the engineer didn't do the inspection in an ethical way, and as I mentioned before, the involvement of fraud and bribery might cause the roof failure, and the contractor also, because of they want to reduce the cost of the construction, they reduce the number of board, which lead to this failure. And even though the other parts of the building didn't follow the spec of the specification of the structure drawing, but the main causes for this, the other parts of the building didn't follow the spec of the specification of the structure drawing, but the main causes for this failure is actually the main pillar, which doesn't have enough board connection. I was informed before, the inspection for this building did happen a few years ago, but then I don't know what happened, but the building owner didn't do the inspection for this building anymore. And as I was informed, the building owner did receive a warning letter from the authority, but yet there is still no action taken from the building owner. As a result from the investigation, we found that actually the construction material didn't follow the spec regarding the standards. So we believe actually they used the poor construction material during the construction phase. And the further result for this inspection regarding this case will be informed later.
There were some mistake present, and currently the police and engineer looking into this case. I never thought that about this building will collapse, and as I not informed about the seriousness of this case. For the victim, I would say that this case is under investigation, and I only can consult them. We will until the investigation complete to find the responsible person to be charged. We also will compensation to the victim families.
So you will pay compensation to the victims' families.
I didn't know about this at all. That's why we are waiting for the investigation report, and there is a possibility for me to be charged also because of my carelessness about this building. I should take my own initiative to check and supervise this building on construction stage. Well, I have to face it anyway.
After the interview with various parties involved in this case investigation, so we get to know about the collapse of the building. There are certain details that we understand about the case, like for example the auxiliary pillars of the roof fails and it requires 4 bolts, but in actually only 2 present, and the heavy load of the snow caused the loading effect on the roof, which the roof unable to sustain the load and therefore it collapsed. So this investigation details shows there are some unethical construction parties involved for these cases. For example, the engineer and the contractor involved for the building construction does not obey the spec of the construction. So we can see that it caused many death and injuries as well as loss to the corporation. So I hope the parties involved for this case will take charge on the person responsible for this case and will bring them under the concern of law. So this is Sujendran reporting for EIS Television. Thank you very much.